and welcome back to Opal&Mint. I am Ashley, and today we're going to be painting leaves. I was trying to think of what we can paint today. I've done a lot of testing out paint brands lately, and I really wanted to focus on how to paint something. And I do a lot of florals here, and I've focused on how to paint certain flowers, but in every floral you have leaves. And so I want to go through a few different types of leaves that you can add to any floral arrangement. So you have some different variations. It's not just one leaf. A lot of times I get stuck just doing the same, same leaf over and over. So we're just gonna sit down, we're gonna paint. I'm gonna show you how to do just different styles and shapes and color variation. And yeah, that can help round out a floral arrangement for you. So that's what we're doing today. Let's go ahead and turn the camera around and start painting. All right, so today I'm gonna be using Fumui. This brand. This is artist grade watercolor paper. It is cold pressed, 100% cotton, and does it say it feels like 140 pound. I don't see on here what it actually is, but this is a 9x12. I've only used this a couple of times so far, but it is a fairly rough textured cold press. So that's the paper I'm going to be using today. Trying to decide which paints I want to use. It's my big box of paints here. I think I haven't used my ocean paper in a little while, so I may use those. There's a bunch of different greens in here, but I kind of want to use more primary kind of greens so I can show you how to mix different colors of green. So maybe not. Okay, I have a variety of paints actually. So I've got my bolder colors. These are handmade watercolors, and they hand make their own pigments from plants as well. So these are, I want to do a review on these, but I'm going to use these just for fun today. And then I'm also still working on doing a review of core, and these are the core paints that I have. So there's a little bit of greens in there. So yeah, let's go ahead and start painting some leaves. So one of the things that can change up the variety of leaves that you paint, the sun's going in and out, I'm so sorry, the lighting's going to be changing, is the brushes that you use. So I'll show you using different brushes. Let me pick out some of my favorites, some of the different shapes that I like to use when painting leaves. Now obviously there's the traditional round brush. Okay, I'll use my silver black velvet because I really like that. My mop brush. Let's get a filbert. We're just going to try a bunch of different shapes so I can show you. All right, we have a dagger, we have a round, we have a filbert, we have a cat's tongue, and we have a mop brush. I think those should suffice. And then for fun, I want to put in a script brush. So let me get the one that I normally use. This one's a little bit long, and I mean I could use this one, but I like a little bit shorter of a liner brush. But they're really fantastic for doing kind of unpredictable leaves. Okay, so we're going to start with the round brush because that's the most traditional watercolor brush that you will find. So let's go ahead, and again, these are made out of foods and plants and things that she turns into pigments and then into paints. So this one is made from a lime. This one is black raspberry. And then we have red onion skins. Anyways, and then there's some yellows that I like to add in greens too. So we have orange and cilantro stems. So those are the bolder colors that I'm going to be using. I really hate that the lighting keeps changing, but it is what it is. All right, so we're going to do different sections on here, and I'm going to show you the different leaves with the different brushes. So we'll do the round brush first. All right, so the most traditional leaf kind of shape that we have is the 2-stroke leaf shape. Now, if you haven't watched my Watercolor 101 video and you're new to watercolor, I highly recommend you doing that. But the brush stroke that is used in so many things in watercolor is what I call is tip, belly, tip. And that's where you start with the tip of your brush, you push through the belly of your brush, and then you pull back up through the tip of your brush. So this particular brush stroke is used a lot in leaf making, petal making, that kind of thing. So there is the 1-stroke, tip, belly, tip. So we just have a leaf. And then there's the 2-stroke. So when I teach this, I've taught this in-person watercolor classes. What I like to do is draw a pencil mark. We're going to actually zoom in a little bit because make sure you can see. So why is there's like a gnat or something flying around here? Okay, so we have this pencil mark and you keep your brush going along this pencil mark, but you push the belly out on either side. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So we're going to start with the tip, and then I'm staying on this line, but I'm pushing the belly out that way and then ending up on the tip. And then you do the other side the same way. So staying on that line, but pushing that belly out. Okay? So we have our 1-stroke and we have our 2-stroke leaf. And once you master those strokes, you can do a variety of these in different directions and shapes and all that. So you can kind of get fancy with it. If you want, you can make the leaf go down. There's a lot of stuff you can do with just the simple stroke. Another variation of this is the wiggle. So you do the exact same stroke, but you kind of wiggle your brush. And then that way the leaf is more irregular, because in nature they are a lot more irregular. So, and a lot of times, like, I'll do one that's like facing downward and I'll wiggle the edges. And then let's see here, you get different colors. So a lot of times, again, I will change the different colors of the leaves to add variety in an arrangement. So this is the basic kind of leaf technique, I guess you could say. And there's so many more you could do. Oh my gosh, this gnat, stay away. So many more you could do with the round brush. I mean, I could fill this whole page with round brush strokes. But so this is just the quick brush stroke, go, you know. You can do one that's more of like a serrated edge leaf, and there's so many ways you can do those. I like to just kind of do that. You're just kind of going out like that. So that's a leaf. So yeah. Another, again, with the round brush, you can do, it's again the same stroke, but we're just going to do like a longer thin leaf, and like leaves that are connected to. I've found that, so kind of just thinner leaves, again, the longer the stroke is, or the quicker you lift up, or, you know, the longer you have a stroke, I mean, it's going to change the shape of the leaf. So play around with that, and don't be afraid to make not perfect leaves. So don't be afraid to just do something, and you can let it dry brush and run out. That will add interest and texture in your watercolors. Okay. So I could, like I said, I could totally fill this page with a round brush, but I'm going to move this aside and move on to another one. But again, this is a Silver Black Velvet number 8. So in case you were wondering. And I'll link what I can in the description as far as the equipment that I'm using. So, all right, let's move on to the next one. This brush is a cat's tongue, or it's called a pointed oval wash brush, but it's known as a cat's tongue. So this specific one is a Master's Touch pointed oval wash in size 4. This one I love for petals, but also leaves. So let's see what the red onion skin looks like. It sounds so funny. I love this because it's already like in the shape of a petal, but even a leaf. And taking your brushes and holding them in different ways is also a wonderful way to utilize your brush. But we're going to start with that point and do the exact same thing. Okay, so all you're doing is you're going the tip through the belly and then through the tip. And again, move it different directions. The really nice thing about this brush is, got a little bit too much water, is that tip, and you can turn it sideways and you can have a really fine stroke. So you can do like a stem and then a leaf. How easy is that? So we're going to do a stem and then a leaf. So I'm going to take a little bit of the cilantro stems, this yellow, and mix it with a little bit of the red onion skin. So we're going to have a variety of color. And again, this one is just so nice because you can get a really, really fine point for those stems. Okay. So this is another cool thing about this brush. Since it is so wide, you have your round brush and you can push through it. But this one's like already pushed through, like it's flattened. So you have that wide surface and you can just use that to your advantage. And then I'm running out of paint there. I'm gonna kind of wiggle this one. So, okay. So let's, I'm kind of showing you how you use different brushes. I'm kind of showing you how different leaves, but let's move on to, we're going to use just the side of the brush. So I'm not going to go to the fat part, just the side. And we're going to do a stem and then a long leaf. Stem and long skinny leaves. And again, having a variety of shapes and colors will help in your foliage of your arrangement. Okay, so there's a couple with the cat's tongue. And again, you can do this with the round brush. You can do this with a filbert brush. You can do this specific one. It doesn't have to be used with the cat's tongue. So I'm trying to show you how your brushes can be versatile. Okay. So next I'm going to go in with the Dagger Brush. And I'm going to be honest. This one's called a Dagger Striper, 3/8 inch from Master's Touch. I'm going to be honest. The Dagger Brush, I think it has amazing potential. But I have not mastered controlling this thing. It kind of likes to take over. And I will use that to my advantage when I want to do something that's a little bit more loose, or a little bit more where I'm not trying to place things perfectly and precisely. For some reason, the Dagger Brush for me is unwieldy. I don't know. But again, we have a very nice tip with the Dagger Brush, so we can get fine lines. And let's do some like little things here. So again, I'm starting with that tip and kind of just brushing out. So doing a variety of these kinds of things where you have longer, skinnier ones, shorter ones, helps to fill out an arrangement. All right, so I'm off screen here, but I'm just mixing up some more greens, and I think I'm going to take this and I'm going to add a little bit of the red to it. We're going to mute the green down a little bit. Wow, that red took over. So, whoops, I'm splashing everywhere. Okay, so this is kind of a brownish green that I've mixed up. Okay, so again, the Dagger Brush, great for fine, and then it also gets to pretty wide. So we're gonna do the same tip, belly, tip. Just using a different brush. Tip, belly, tip. I find that when I'm using the Dagger Brush for this specific one, I have a longer pointed tip. It's just the way my hand does. So, tip, belly, tip, tip, push through, and tip. Okay. Okay, now we're going to do a wiggle leaf. So we're going to go stem, and then we're going to kind of wiggle that brush and then pull down. Okay, so let's do that again. We're going to go wiggle up. We're going to do a 2-stroke wiggle. These are technical terms here. That one got really, really fat. That's okay. You need some wonky leaves in your arrangements. Please do not make them all perfect. That is boring. Did you know perfect is boring? Okay, and I encourage you when you're learning to use a new brush, a different brush, something you're not used to, just start making marks on a page. Like this brush feels foreign and uncomfortable to me. So like what I would do is just like play around and don't expect it to make a perfect anything. Just see what kind of shapes you can make with it. That's how you learn to use a brush. Seeing if I can do like a rounded, that was weird. I'm not sure what kind of leaf that is. Yeah, just kind of play around, push the brush, turn the brush, and yeah. I hope this is helping. I hope that it's giving you some ideas. Another thing that I like to do is I do my bigger leaves and then medium leaves and smaller leaves. So when you're filling out arrangement, it's good to have your big, fat, healthy leaves and then more your medium ones. And then we're going to do some little baby petite leaves, which I normally do with a round brush. So let me actually do that up here. The round brush is perfect for those little bitty petite leaves because all you do is tap the brush on the page, and you can do clusters of them, or you can just do like leaves here and there. And then you can like put little stems to combine those clusters. But the round brush is really, really good for doing those little leaves. I'm kind of curious to see what I can do with this. Just kind of play, and you can do little skinny leaves because skinny leaves are good too. And then you can turn it to the side to get a little bit of a fatter leaf. But yeah, this works for just those little plop. Those are plop leaves. We're going to call them plop leaves. Okay, so we have our round brush, we have our cat's tongue, and we have our dagger brush. All right, we're going to go to the filbert now. And I kind of got in this area, filbert. This is Phil. And he is a 1/2 inch. Master's Touch calls this an oval wash. So filbert or oval wash. And I want to go into some of these core colors. we're gonna play with some of these. And I'm going to show you again. I like to start with showing you can make the same kind of shape with different brushes. So I'm turning it on its side here. So not the fat, we're going on the skinny side. And this is going to act just like a round brush. If you just turn it this way, we're going to go tip, we're going to push that belly out and then come back to the tip. You can do the same exact leaf with all the brushes, pretty much. Tip, belly, tip. That one got funny here. Let's do a second stroke there. That one doesn't look right, but that's fine. We're gonna tip, belly, tip. And then let's see what happens if we turn this on its fat side now. We're gonna push through, and then I'm gonna twist it and pull down. So that was twist and pull. Because if I just go like this, it's going to end up like that. So when it gets to this point, you twist and pull down. Or up or wherever. Why does this gnat want to be on my paint? Okay. I hope this is helping and making sense. Okay. So I honestly don't use the filbert for leaves that much. I do like to use this for the more rounded petals. But let's see what we can do here. So I'm going to do, that was a nice thick stem there. Oh, this is good for those like, really skinny leaves, like the long thin ones. Those got a little wonky. That's okay. But add some movement in these. Don't make them all straight. Well, that got really weird. Okay. This looks really bad. Ignore it. Yeah, that's fine. But this, I'm trying to leave room for my wash over here. That's why I'm doing this. But this can be really good for doing some long skinny leaves. But like I said, you can do that with the cat's tongue. You can do that with the round brush. Whatever you have, use it. Let's see, we're going to push and twist. Seems to be what my hand wants to do with filbert. This one is also really good at plop leaves. We can just like do some plop leaves. Kind of connect those a little bit. That looks like if this was blue, it could be a bluebonnet. But anyways, again, use some single leaves, use some groups of leaves, big, medium, small. Okay? I think this one is pretty good for plop leaves too, but do a lot of just like random plop. Another thing I do in a composition is I like to put some of these really pale, not so pigmented leaves and then some really dark ones. So you've got that kind of contrast going on as well. I have two brushes. I don't have just one. Okay, so here I'm going to do my mop. And then I guess I'll get another page for the script. Okay, so this is a quill or a mop brush. This is the Master's Touch size 6 quill. This one holds a lot of water, a lot of water. So this is one that you definitely need to be painting large things with. So let's get a little bit more of a blue toned green here. Okay, so again, very large leaves can be painted with this. Not really sure what that leaf is. Bloop. Those are just blobs. Those are very big blobs. And sometimes blobs are okay. I want to try a plop leaf with this. That just looks like an acorn or something. I honestly haven't done many leaves with this brush, and it shows. But I wanted to include it and try and see what would happen. If you did like the 2-stroke one, it would be a very, very big leaf. But anyways, There's the Mop Brush. Whoop. So you can definitely paint leaves with this. I just haven't much. That was cute. Okay, so there was the mop. Let's move on to the last brush. Where did you go? There you are. And this is a liner brush or a script brush. Go away. This is a 30-/O, the Fine Touch liner brush. Okay, let's dip into some of these core paints. Now, this brush is not one that most people would traditionally think of using as a leaf brush, but this one I like. I love the style of the chaotic and slightly impressionistic leaves sometimes. So let me show you what I mean. This one, since it's so long and thin, if you push on it, it kind of goes where it wants to. And so, if you take it and kind of twist it around in the general shape of a leaf, I really enjoy sometimes when you have more detailed flowers, having your leaves look a little bit less structured can be really cool. And I like that this kind of skips and does some like dry brushing. And you can take, less paint, more water. And again, this is a different style. This is not like those that I've been doing over there. But just kind of, I don't know how to describe what my brain is thinking. But I've seen some people do really, really cool leaves with these. This one is a little bit longer than I would normally use. So it's getting some really, really like pointiness happening. But yeah, just kind of playing. Yeah, see I don't know where my other one is. Let me see if I can find it real quick so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, I don't know where the one that I normally use is, but I'm going to use this one. This is Remember Joy from Christy Rice. It's a #1 liner brush. So this one's a little bit shorter, so it won't be quite as I don't know, uncontrollable. But I mean, that's the thing I like about it, is the uncontrollableness of this brush. And just kind of winging it, And I've seen some people like take it and twist it, and that next to a rose, like I think it's pretty. And I like the it's a little more organic because you're not trying to perfectly place an exact leaf shape, because in nature leaves are facing all different directions. So you may have a leaf that you only see a little bit of it. And so using something like this, and even just using this to kind of fill in a few places, so you're not doing your leaves as structured and as you know what I'm trying to say? I hope you do. Put a little color there, kind of wiggle that around. So I don't know. I hope that that gave you an idea of how you can use different brushes, and just gave you some different leaf shapes to go to and try out. And let's see if we do like this one is also good for obviously long, thin leaves, and doing like grassy kind of bits coming out of your arrangements. So liner brushes are really good for that. Just kind of wiggling it around. So, oh, that was off the screen. Sorry. but I like to do some of these just thin lines coming out in different parts when you're doing a floral arrangement. So doing some of your plop leaves, some of your little bitty baby plop leaves, and then some of these long, thin, just kind of squiggly, blowing in the wind kind of leaves. So anyways, so yeah, this was the liner brush. Let me liner. So I hope this helped give you some ideas for doing different leaves and using different brushes to make your leaf shapes. I'm trying to think if there's something else I can throw in here for you, but one shape that I didn't do, one leaf shape that I didn't really do much of is a round leaf. That's another. I don't do a whole lot of round leaves, but let's just play for a second. A lot of times when I sit down to do something, a floral or something, I'll sit down and then my brush just does this, you know, this leaf. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint a leaf chart to put like on my wall in front of me so my brain can remember the different kinds of leaves that I'm capable of. Because a lot of times I'll just default to, you know, that one shape. But there's so many different leaf shapes. And another good way to get inspiration for leaf shapes is looking at flower books, or the Encyclopedia of Flowers and Plants is the one that I used in a recent video. I'm going to link that in the description because it has so many different flower pictures, and it also has leaves and fern kind of plants and just stuff you can look at to get inspiration. So I'm gonna link that book. It's like $40, so it's not a cheap book, but it has a lot of stuff in it. And yeah, so that's one that my husband got me for Christmas, I believe, and I just really enjoy that for inspiration. So anyways, I'm going to close out this video now. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you have any specific go-to leaves you like, please let us know in the comments below. And I would also love to know what your favorite brush is to use when painting leaves. So, all right, that is it for this one. If you did enjoy this, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you want to see our future videos, hit that subscribe button down below, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye. All right, so today I'm going to be, I feel like it's too bright. Hey.